My memory of my parents when I was young is that they were so alive. My father painted and wrote poetry, my mother taught me dancing. Both of them were agnostic, and never taught me religion. Now divorced, they each live in quiet separation, unwilling to take chances. For me, they have died and are just shells of fear. That makes me sad, because once they flowed with life. What has happened to them? It is a complicated question. In the first place, you do not know the meaning of agnosticism. To simply not teach you religion is not agnosticism. To simply not believe in religion is not agnosticism. If you call it agnosticism, you will have to use the word negative. It is negative agnosticism. The positive agnostic is a seeker. And he goes on seeking, risking everything to find the truth, the life. It is so easy to be a negative agnostic. Not much intelligence is needed for that. All religions are so full of rubbish that any man of average intelligence can see it. And seeing it, he becomes non-religious. Your parents must have been of the same kind. Religions were wrong, that was their intellectual standpoint. But they never tried to fill the vacuum that religion was occupying. They threw the baby out with the bath water. To be an agnostic means a tremendous search. You have not to believe, and you have not to disbelieve either. The negative agnostic disbelieves, and there is not much difference between belief and disbelief. The religious person believes in God. The irreligious person does not believe in God. But their beliefs and their disbeliefs are only mental games. Neither of them has searched, meditated, gone deeper into his own center. To be an agnostic needs tremendous courage, immense energy, and patience. And when the agnostic comes to the center of this being, certainly he finds there is no God. Because the moment you know your center, you have known the center of the whole existence. On the periphery we are separate, but our separation is only at the circumference. As you go on moving toward your own self, you are coming closer to other people's selves. Ultimately, when you reach to the center, you are amazed there is no God. But there is tremendous beauty, incalculable silence. If their agnosticism were what I am defining it to be, they would not have been in desperation. The agnostic can never live in desperation. He is involved in the great search of what it is all about. He has no energy for desperation. He is pouring his whole effort onto one single dimension he wants to know. The agnostic is not the end of the search. It is just the beginning. The agnostic cannot say there is no God, there is no heaven, no hell. That is what the atheist goes on doing. Perhaps your parents were atheists. The atheists are bound to come someday to deep despair. As death comes close by, they start trembling. They have not believed in God, they have disbelieved in religion. It was good when they were young, but before death, almost all atheists become theists. They start believing. A simple arithmetic. Death is there. What is beyond they don't know. They don't know themselves. It was easier when they were young, hot. They enjoyed criticizing. They enjoyed destroying arguments of those who believed, and it is very easy to destroy their arguments. God is not an argument. At the moment of death, as they become older, and the gap between them and death is becoming less and less, they freak out. Now they are no longer young, no longer hot. They have become just cold, shrunk, and death scares them. Now the only way is to accept religion, because religion is a kind of opium. It helps you to forget your despair, your anguish. It helps you to hallucinate whatsoever you want. And the reasoning is, if there is no God, there is no harm. By becoming theists, if there is a God, then we can say, forgive us, we were too young, inexperienced. Knowing nothing, we started disbelieving in you. And all the religions teach that God forgives those who ask for it. It is simple. Whether God is or not is not the question. The person is going to die and has to face the reality if he survives death. With what face? Is he going to encounter God? This is the despair of your parents. Young, they were painters and poets and dancers. It is easy, when you are young, to do all kinds of foolishness. And when you do not believe in the religion people all around you are believing in, you have a certain satisfaction that you are unique, individual. You assert your uniqueness. It is nothing but an ego number. In youth, everybody thinks he is a great painter, a great poet, a great musician. Youth is blind, it is just the energy of nature which is overflowing in you. And you are not even concerned with death, it is too far away. There is a certain limit beyond which you cannot be worried. You can worry for tomorrow, you can worry for the day after tomorrow. But are you going to worry about the coming year? Are you going to be worried about the coming century? You will say, today is so much, tomorrow is close by, who cares about the coming century? One person has asked, Osho, is it enough to be with you and enjoy? Rather than thinking of the future of humanity? He himself is in doubt otherwise. From where does the question arise? Who is telling you to be worried about the future of humanity? It is enough if you can manage your life, the future will come out of it. Tomorrow is going to be born out of today. Whatever you are doing today will create your tomorrow. Once you know the secret, you are not only enjoying here, you are also creating the future. The way the question is asked, it seems you must be worried about the future of humanity. You want my approval that it is perfectly okay. Don't feel guilty, just enjoy this day with me. Your question does not need an answer, your question needs approval. But in youth, death is almost non-existential. You cannot disregard it when you get older. Your parents must be getting older. Their youth is finished. The love between your mother and father is finished. That, too, was there because they were young. In old age, everybody would like to be divorced, not only from his wife, but from womankind as such. Youth is the time of romance. That's why young people have never been taken seriously. The elders, the old people who have passed through all experiences of life, have been respected throughout history. You will not find a single civilization where the young man was respected. Just tolerated, he was only a nuisance and nothing else. But the old people knew they were also young once. They have also befooled themselves in many ways. There is nothing to worry about. These young people will also get over their romantic ideas. Ideas of revolution, of the future of mankind. As death comes, you will shrink to a single question. What is beyond death? What is going to happen? If there is a God, then I am doomed. My whole life I denied him. If there is no God, that, too, is scary. Then you will become a ghost, without a body. A consciousness who wants things but cannot get them, because things are material. And the ghost is not material, he has no material body. This is one possibility, which is not very appealing. And ghosts have never been known to paint, or to compose poetry, music. They have never been known to dance and enjoy. Ghosts don't fall in love, for the simple reason that the host has lost the body, the biology. The physiology, he is just a shadow. It is not appealing to become a ghost and wander around hungry for all the things that he had desired in life. He would like to have a woman, but in ghosts, I have never heard that there is any sexual difference. They are all alike. There is no beautiful ghost, and there is no ugly ghost. There is not male ghost, there is no female ghost. And they are such with all kinds of desires. No old man would like to live like that. It is better to die completely. Death should be total, not only of the body, out of the soul, too. That will be a great relaxation, because if you are not, who is going to worry? Just think back when you were not born. Do you remember that you were very much concerned about things, nuclear weapons, World War, Ethiopia? And do you think that before your birth, when you were non-existential, there was any problem? There was no problem. Not to be is the end of all problems, all sufferings, all misery. But if there is a God, the old man who has denied him all his life is in despair. He cannot say now that God exists. It goes against his ego, which he has cultivated for 70, 80 years. And now he cannot stand up so strongly for his disbelief either. It is my experience that any atheist I have come across is always young. I have never come across an old man who is an atheist. It is a similar case. You never come across an old man who is a hippie. To be a hippie, you need to be between 25 and 35. For those 10 years you have strength to fight the society, to go against its morality, to do things that are not allowed, to take drugs. It is a challenge, but as you go on growing, between around 35 and 40, the hippie disappears. Suddenly thousands of hippies simply disappear. Now that youthful, romantic ideology of free love, drugs, not caring about anything, is not possible. You are becoming older, you need a home. You need a wife to look after you. You need children, because they will be, in a subtle way, tremendously satisfying. You know that you will die, but at least you will live on in your child. The child is part of you. Even if a part of you is saved, it gives consolation.